Today, we bid farewell to one of the unforgettable faces of the television world. Tristan Rogers, who passed away at the age of 79, was not just an actor. He was Robert Scorpio himself, a character etched into the memories of millions of viewers since 1980. His story goes beyond the spy or police commissioner we saw on screen. It is a story of a career that began by chance, a journey shaped by determination, and a life that was as inspiring in real life as it was on screen. When the news of Rogers' death was confirmed by his manager, his fans' initial reaction was one of shock, because many people didn't want to believe that someone with such a strong energy could truly leave this world. Frank Valentini, one of the producers of General Hospital, summed up this feeling. Port Charles won't be the same without Robert Scorpio. Yes, in the world of TV shows, characters die, return, and are rewritten, but there are some faces that can never be replaced. So what made Tristan Rogers so special? Was it just his talent that etched him into the hearts of millions? Or was it the struggles he faced behind the camera, the ups and downs of his life? In this video, we will recount Rogers' extraordinary journey from Melbourne to Hollywood step by step. You will see how the adventure he began as a child with no plan evolved from a rock band commercials, and then to one of the world's most popular soap operas. But more importantly, we will discuss the greatest battle he fought throughout his life, both through his character Robert Scorpio and in real life. In interviews after being diagnosed with cancer, he said he saw this battle not just as his own story, but as an opportunity for others to become more aware. Characters like me don't get cancer, he said, but he did. And at that point, he made a significant difference in the lives of tens of thousands of viewers, perhaps without even realizing it, because many of them, inspired by his story, began getting tested and paying more attention to their health. Today, we will show you not just a biography of an actor, but also how a cultural icon is created, how a television character leaves a lasting mark on society, and how a person can make a difference even in the most unexpected moments of life. Brace yourselves, because Tristan Rogers' story will surprise you, move you, and make you think. You will see how a role portrayed on screen by an actor can touch the lives of millions of people in real life. Before starting the video, if you enjoy this kind of detailed narration, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel, because the details you are about to learn will shed light not only on an actor, but also on turning points in television history. Tristan Rogers' story is, in fact, a true unplanned success story. When he was born in Melbourne, Australia, in 1946, no one could have predicted that he would one day become a television face recognized by millions. Not even he himself, because young Tristan had no aspirations of becoming an actor. He was just an ordinary high school student. When he dropped out of school in 1964, he had no clear idea about his future. The rock band he formed with his friends provided his first stage experience. However, this presence on stage was like a preview of his future performances in Hollywood. At the age of 21, he turned to modeling to make a living. He took on small roles in commercials. The interesting thing is that he had no acting experience whatsoever when he started these jobs. But his presence in front of the camera, his natural facial expressions, and his voice began to attract the attention of producers. Years later, when recounting this process, he said, "It was just a way for me to make some money." But fate had much more in store for him. In the mid-1970s, Australian television was in the midst of a boom in melodramas and daily series. Rogers took on small roles in popular productions such as Rogers, Bellbird, Number 96, and The Box. These series were, in a way, a school for him. He learned how to be natural in front of the camera and how to internalize the script on these sets. The real turning point came with the 1972 British film 4 Dimensions of Greta. The small role he took on in this film marked his first foray into international productions. Acting was no longer just a temporary source of income. It was opening the door to a professional journey. However, Australia's borders were not enough for him. The decision to move to the United States in 1980 changed his life forever. At this point, I would like to ask you, do you think it is more coincidence or conscious choices that change a person's career? In Rogers' life, the two were intertwined. She had consciously decided to go to America, but the opportunities that came her way there were entirely coincidental. When he arrived in Los Angeles, no one knew him yet, He was modeling in a small circle, getting into advertising work, and chatting with every producer he met. It was at that very moment that the role of his life knocked on his door, General Hospital. But the path to General Hospital was not an easy one. At that time, the U.S. television industry was overflowing with hundreds of actors. This young man from Australia didn't seem to have much of a chance. However, when he auditioned, he stood out with his charismatic presence and confident demeanor, and thus, Robert Scorpio was born. Tristan Rogers' story shows us what television can achieve beyond being merely an entertainment medium. He was not just an actor. He was the voice, face, and soul of an entire era. The Robert Scorpio character came to life through his energy and became a part of millions of people's daily lives. The scenes in the series did not just provide dramatic moments for viewers. They also highlighted concepts such as trust, loyalty, friendship, and struggle. Even today, when you watch General Hospital, you can still see the shadow of Robert Scorpio. Because when Rogers played this character, he didn't just memorize the lines. He infused it with his own spirit. As producer Frank Valentini said, Port Charles will never be the same without Robert Scorpio. But his legacy isn't limited to the screen. The courage he showed in his battle with cancer actually made him an even greater hero in the eyes of his fans. Because at that point, there was no script, no camera, no retakes. He was facing life itself. And he shared that confrontation with his characteristic honesty. Perhaps that's why he became immortal in the hearts of viewers. So what are we learning today? Perhaps most importantly, even when a person embarks on a journey without any plan, they can leave their mark on the world if they walk with determination. Tristan Rogers turned this journey, which he embarked on at a young age solely to earn money, into an indelible legacy in the memories of millions. His life story became one of the rare examples proving that small steps can lead to great journeys. And yes, he is no longer with us. But the characters he played, the traces he left behind, and the lives he inspired will continue to exist. In every General Hospital scene, in every Robert Scorpio line, we will feel his energy anew. Which scene do you remember Tristan Rogers for? Robert Scorpio's unforgettable days as a spy, or his profound story in General Hospital, Night Shift? I'd love to hear your memories and thoughts in the comments, because this story is not just part of an actor's legacy, but also part of the collective memory of the audience. If you like this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about events, we talk about the human stories behind them. In the next video, I'll be following the news again and sharing some very important current events with you. So stay tuned. Perhaps the most accurate statement that can be made about Tristan Rogers is this. He was not just an actor, but a storyteller who defied time. And that story will continue to live on in our memories. Rest in peace, Tristan Rogers. You will remain Robert Scorpio forever for millions.